You're listening to the voice of IWA Flip here on Interfed Radio. And look who we have in studio again. The Men of Steel, Will Wisdom, and Terrence Segard. Terrence, Will, you guys there?
We're right here. Absolutely. Welcome to be back.
Oh, man. Now, first and foremost, I want to go ahead and congratulate you guys on air. The AWL CCL team in the Steel pulled off the third edition of the Guerra de Campeones. And as I was mentioning to you guys off air, nobody gave you guys a shot in hell. You guys, even though I know you guys don't see yourselves as underdogs, and I think it just goes to show how many talented managers there are in the association. And, the AWL and CCL have their fair share.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are many, many, many talented managers who, are extremely involved with the IWA and are involved in many, many leagues. But there's also a lot of managers that are only focused on, one Fed, or in most of our cases, possibly even one league. And the AWL and the CCL have some very, very talented managers. And this time around, we picked the right guys, and we were able to score a big victory.
Awesome. Now, if you will allow me, Will, I'm going to go ahead and mention some. If I forget anybody, feel free to throw them in there, because I'm going to go ahead and start with the 6 that were selected for this Guerra de Campeones, which is yourself, Will Wisdom. We had Dennis Hammock. We had Francis and Sarah Guy. And then I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was also Schmitty, right? Chris Schmitty?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe those were the ones that were involved with that. And I said all of them are really, really, really talented.
Yeah, so shout outs to our AWL CCL team. And Will, I know we haven't mentioned this, and I definitely, like I said, I know we didn't. We didn't announce that there was going to be a prize for the Guerra de Campeones. It's just kind of a Facebook thing. But I have secured free battle royals for those people that were a part of the Guerra de Campeones. So I'll say it on air, and I'll make sure I reach out to those managers, because got to give them a little prize for bringing that home.
Oh, that's awesome! Thank you.
Now, moving forward, we had a very, very big one. We had the granddaddy of them all this cycle, Starrcade.
That's right. The combination AWL, CCL, and STW, Starrcade 2018, the final battle. The card to determine the brand new IWA Steel Interfed World Title. And, of course, it wouldn't be Starrcade without some controversy. And we'll get into that in a few moments.
Nice. Now, as you mentioned that, the Interfed, the Steel Interfed title has gotten a lot of wind, and it moved and it shifted throughout the entire Steel. I was happy to see how many managers / commissioners were eager to get a part of it and be a part of it. So kudos, and like I said, I think moving into 2019. That Steel Interfed title is going to be well traveled and well contested.
Oh, absolutely. No, I can't wait either. I said right now we have 7 organizations that are involved. I'll list them right now. We have obviously the AWL and the CCL. We have our NWO style league that we combine with the STW. They're considered a separate entry. But we also have the IIL, the MWL, the OSL, and just recently we gained the LSL, now commissioned by Shane Cole and Tim Clark. So, and there's still plenty of openings for any other leagues. And if anybody wants to be a commissioner of a steel-fed league, hey, join one, look up me or Terrence, and we'll get you in the association. The more the merrier.
Nice. Now, just to add to that, or to piggyback off of that, guys, the MUL is also in the steel, and I think is also in that mix. If I thought I had put the MUL in that mix, but I could be mistaken. If not, we'll we'll make sure we reach out and
yes, I did mention the MUL. We also had the KKL, but unfortunately, it looks like the KKL is going to close, and you and Mr. Frank Belcher are going to combine efforts into the MUL.
You know what? I really like how you're you're well grounded with this, because that was something that was unveiled to me yesterday. So that's
Facebook
beautiful,
helps.
man. You know what? That does, it does add to, how quick information travels. And yeah, so, the KKL, as Will mentioned, is unfortunately closing. But the IWA has allowed us to kind of co-commission the MUL. And so, again, expect the Steel Interfed title to make their way that way to the MUL. And I can't wait.
And that'll be in February, so you have 3 cycles to determine your contender for the Steel title.
Oh yeah. Now, Terrence. I mean, dude, you guys are doing. Again, when commissioners, I call it work, guys. I mean, and Terrence, you guys are doing some work there, and certain managers need you guys and need this style of play, because it's a fast pace. I mean, Will, I think I've gone on air a couple times. I mean, the stuff that you do on Google and the tracking and the history that you can look up immediately. I really wish the IWA would give a little more archives. But when I see it with your Google stuff, oh man, it's awesome to see that record keeping, brother.
Well, thank you. It's one of the things that I like to do. I like to preserve the history of the league. I said I was not the original commissioner. I came in, and I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm approaching 100 cycles as the commissioner of this league. But even before me, I know. But even before me, there's definitely a history, and Terrence will say that too. No, he's got somebody that's posting the history of the CCL from the first 50 cycles. So we like to preserve the remembrance of the people that started this whole thing with these leagues. And it's an interesting read.
Oh yeah. Now I think somebody I forgot to mention as that was a part of that AWL, and I think is a big part of the CCL. And Terrence, you can you can probably attest to this. Mark Duchesne.
Oh yeah, definitely heavy hitter.
He's definitely one of those managers that is he's an icon here in the IWA, because he's been in the game, and some people, like myself, I've gone on air before, gentlemen, and I try to avoid Mark Duchesne because he's such a damn good player. I am, I'll say this, I'm definitely afraid of Mark Duchesne, because he plays very well, and hey, I'll be the first to say it. Some people avoid certain managers because of how talented they are. So I'm definitely afraid of Mark Duchesne.
And he's very loyal, I'll say that.
Oh man, he's awesome, man. Like I said, I give him a hard time, but like I said, Mark, from the bottom of my heart, man, you're a fantastic player, bro. Don't think I'm avoiding you for any other reason other than you play well, brother.
If you pay attention in CCL, him and Dennis Hammock, they have their feud. I mean, I think it's been going on a year now that I don't think it's ever going to end, to be honest.
Nice. And you know what? Certain we were talking. I had Michael Giuliano on from the WWL, and I was mentioning to him, you know what? Sometimes you just find that right person that you can continue to work with over and over, and it's just going to stay fresh. It's going to stay relevant.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's beautiful. I mean, Dennis is another one that I know is loyal to the Steel and loyal to those associations right there. But yeah, it's beautiful to see those kind of managers, man.
Heck yeah.
Now, Will, are we going to start with I think you said it early on. I think this is going to be a Starrcade loaded review show. I mean, did you want to start? Did you want to start with the bottom, or is there a?
Well, the show became so huge, we got permission from the Greensboro Coliseum to hold this as a 2-day event. So we split up our matches, and all three leagues got a chance to shine with their matches. And we're just going to go one step through, and we're going to just give everyone a little taste of what's out there for the AWL, CCL, and STW, and just do a quick recap of the show.
Awesome. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pass the ball. Like I said, so I'll go ahead and sit back, and I'll piggyback. Like I said, I have it in front of me as well. So if I have any questions, I'll throw them out to you guys. But I'm going to go ahead and allow Will to go ahead and lead. And like I said, take it away, Will.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, at day one, we started out red hot as the first match came from the CCL with the AWL CCL Interfed Women's Title Shot. And Terrence will talk about that.
Yep, Inazuma, she competed against a newcomer, Comrade Nadia. It was a pretty tough match. Comrade, she just kind of took it to Inazuma and had many opportunities to pin her in the beginning, but kept pulling her up. So pretty much Inazuma took advantage of a quick turnaround, surprised Comrade, and pulled the victory off to get the title shot.
Nice. Very cool. Now, in terms of those two right there, Terrence, Inazuma is the newcomer, or was she the underdog in that match?
She was kind of the underdog as Comrade Nadia. She was pretty much dominating the match and got too cocky. And she just, I guess, was too green. She could dominate her way through it and made a mistake. One mistake, taking her eye off her opponent, cost her the match.
Oh, that, you know what? That's all it takes is a little bit of showboating, probably playing too much to the fans. And then Inazuma got that, saw that opportunity and took advantage, huh?
Yes.
Awesome.
All right. So next up was the AWL side. The AWL for the Interfed Women's title has decided to do a 4-person mini tournament every 2 cycles to determine their contender for the Interfed title. And just to throw a little twist on this, I decided to put both matches going on at the same time. So the match was Rowdy Ronda Rousey versus Noxious Nikki Knockout. Nikki Knockout is the woman that's done it all in the AWL. She's won basically every title: tag title, intercontinental title, unified title. She's done everything. And the other match was between Sabre and what was supposed to be Carmella, but somehow she got attacked in the back. So we had the return of last kicker Brandy Lynch, who's been out for a couple of months, thought she was going to retire. So she made a surprise appearance. And it was actually quite interesting because obviously all 4, even though it was a 2 against 2, as far as the 2 separate matches, of course, all 4 women got into it themselves. And then we had a little issue with a bunch of Demi Roses in different dresses trying to make this a lumberjack match. But in the end, it turned out to be Sabre and the Noxious One scoring their respective victories to go on to the finals next cycle to get that shot at that Interfed Women's title. After the match, all the women started beating up all the Demi Roses, and they left the building, and as far as I know, they have not been seen since. So
nice.
I think we've had enough of getting colorblinded by the dresses.
Now, gentlemen, I know we've set up a calendar for the Steel Interfed men's title. Is there something in the future that's going to travel the women's title throughout the Steel? Is that something down the line?
That is something that I have to speak with Terrence about, and also just to see, how many leagues actually allow women. As of right now, the women's title is basically a conjoined effort between the AWL and the CCL. If the men's title gains a lot of interest, and we feel like there's even interest in doing it for the women, I'm sure Terrence wouldn't mind it traveling out of R2. But I mean, as of right now, it's mainly an AWL CCL joint version.
Awesome.
Okay, so the next match was the CCL's chase for the tag titles involving Rainbows United and the Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah, it was a very good match too, and it's pretty quick, fast paced, and they showed why they deserve to be in that spot. The winners get the tag title shot in day 2, Starrcade.
Now the Rock and Roll Express there, Terrence. I mean, they've been in your league since you got there, or did they come on after?
They've been around for a while. I believe they were the same ones from the MRL.
Oh, nice, very cool.
Yeah,
the originals.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're the originals.
Nice. So, yeah, it's fun seeing a team like the Rock and Roll Express still doing big things,
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, that's what CCL's about, too, classic championship wrestling. And it's kind of a spin-off of MRL. Not as great, by no means, but, a little mix.
Oh, no, I think, like I said, anytime you can sign some of those classic wrestlers and allow them to, tangle, because some dream matchups never happened. We never got to see an actual, Rock and Roll Express versus, DX, so maybe, who knows? Who knows what signs there in the classic championship wrestling?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, they were all battling it out, and then all of a sudden this distraction comes on the jumbo wall. It says, "I'm too sexy for Starrcade." And Sexy and I Know It begins to play through the arena, but nobody comes out. Rainbow Rhodes gets distracted, and he begins dancing in the corner. Then he slides out of the ring and starts looking at a handheld mirror, admiring himself. And his partner, Barry Black's yelling at him, and this causes the distraction for the Rock and Roll Express. Him to the ropes, give him the double drop kick, and pick up the pinfall victory. And,
I mean, can you blame Rainbow Rose, man? If that song came out, I think half of us would start dancing. I think half of.
Yeah, but nobody knows why I'm too sexy first. I mean, nobody knows why it had happened. I don't know if it's a newcomer coming in, perhaps causing the distraction, or if it's something that got to do with Rainbow Roads, or we'll see soon, I guess. Yeah, distraction like that cost him the match. Rock and Roll Express will face Mobley's Army for the tag titles.
And that's on day 2.
Yes.
So they had to get ready to go real quick. I will say right now, at this point in time, King Achilles, our AWL hardcore champion, that the hardcore title I decreed was going to be on the line the entire night, the entire 2 nights. He made a grandstand appearance and put down what he called the hardcore throne and sat in the arena the whole time and just begged people to come in and challenge him. And people did. All throughout the matches, there were other people that were trying to beat him up and take the hardcore title. But throughout day 1, he was able to successfully defend the title all throughout the card. So we'll see what happens come day 2. Also, another war that was up next was a grudge match between Phenomenal J.A. Styles, and Captain Misery versus Captain Misery's former partners, Men in Black, Are You Ready, and T.O. Rock.
No.
Men in Black just came back because they were sick and tired of Captain Misery representing STW rather than the AWL. But a little ring rust was shown by the Men in Black, and Styles and Misery showed why they are indeed the Phenomenal Misery and scored a pretty impressive victory over the Men in Black.
Nice. Now, first off, I want to mention it must have been a rough night for King Achilles, because anytime you take home that hardcore title, it's a rough night sleeping. It's a rough night.
Oh,
sleeping.
absolutely. It's a 24/7 title. You go after it however you want to, and he was ready. He
Nice.
Just sat up on the stage and said, "Come get me," and like I said, he survived day 1.
Nice.
We'll see what happens day 2.
Now, in terms of the Men in Black, T.O. And Are You Ready are T.O. Rock and Are You Ready are definitely Captain Misery is very familiar with them. So maybe it wasn't only some of the rust, but just, that aspect that Captain Misery, trains with them and, has that history with them. So.
Oh, absolutely. You can definitely tell, they were reversing holds all over the place, and just the personal hatred they had for each other was off the charts.
And that's unfortunate because those guys have been, I said they've been chums for a long time in my books, and to see them, have that turn is awesome. It's awesome and sad at the same time.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Next up is the STW steps in now with their sheer hardcore title. Shane Cole against Blood Diamond Nina Schmidt.
Wow, yeah. Shane Cole cost Nina Schmidt the women's Interfed championship. And Nina didn't like that very well, so she challenged Shane Cole for the STW sheer hardcore title. Shane kind of, I don't know, talks smack to Nina, and she kind of just stares at him. As the bell rings, he gives her a slight shove. It barely pushes Nina back. He opens his arms up and gestures, "What are you going to do?" Nina responds and cold cocks him right in.
Oh, no.
And he's kind of stunned. Nina ends up following up with a spear to Shane Cole. She pumps the crowd up. They get behind her. Cole staggers up, and Nina kicks him in the gut, follows up with a diamond cutter in Blood Diamond fashion, I guess. She makes the cover on the stunned Shane Cole, and 1, 2, 3. Nina Schmidt is the new STW sheer hardcore champion.
Congratulations, Nina Schmidt. Now, Terrence, I will say this: not that the Playboy Shane Cole needs anybody, defending him, but anytime a wrestler signs throughout the entire association, traveling from league to league, traveling just it has its toll. It wears you down, and so maybe the traveling aspect of the Playboys' current contract signings and contract throughout the entire IWA has taken its toll on him there. Because
totally, and the fact that he had to face a woman, I mean, it's more acceptable nowadays, but still, some people are like, "What do I do?"
You know what? I completely forgot about that. Yeah, because the Playboy is, maybe he was trying to be, a little chival, and it backfired. It backfired because Nina's one tough SOB, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, wait till you see what comes next out of her. Oh.
Now, guys, I gotta ask because I gotta play. I gotta play that naive fan role over here. The STW sheer hardcore title, is that defended similar to the AWL hardcore title where it's 24 hours or?
Not yet. It's still in its infancy.
Okay.
So I'm sure it will, but I'm pretty sure STW stole that title and made it into their own title. So.
Oh, those STW
they're
guys.
Good about that. I will say that.
Yeah, they take a lot of titles and make them their own, rebrand them. Sure, STW, when it was in the IWF, the sheer hardcore title was an actual IWF STW title. So, and I forgot, I wasn't much into the old STW, the original, but I don't know how it was defended, but I don't know.
Like you said, we'll have to come back to that steel board meeting to see how that one goes.
Right.
All right. Next up was the number one contender for the AWL World TV Tag titles. Now, this is a unique title in itself. The World TV Tag titles were actually created way back when we had the IWA World Tag Team Champions come in, and we merged a couple of titles together to form this. The uniqueness of this title is the champions get to choose who they want to face. The champions get to choose two teams. Those two teams will face each other, and the winner of that match, the following cycle, will get the shot at the World TV Tag titles. This time, it was the returning American Bulldogs, Kid Diamond Knight and Davey Boy Kid, versus the Dudes with the Attitudes, Paul Papadopoulos and Joseph Cross. And again, there's a lot of just great wrestlers here at the AWL, and every single match you put together is just a fabulous wrestling match. And the Dudes scored the victory and will be facing the World TV Tag Title champions next cycle.
Nice. Now, Will, as you mentioned that, it just came to mind. Is that part of the reason why you try to have a pay-per-view every cycle, just because of the cast that you have here that's just, so rich and so full?
Oh, absolutely. Again, like I said in our last Interfed radio segment, my job is to try to keep as many people involved as humanly possible. And having the pay-per-views every single cycle, just keeps getting, everybody rotated in and everybody involved and everybody with a shot at all these titles. So, it's just it's a natural progression. It's a natural progression for angles. It's a natural progression for, the champions to claim that how good they are with defending their title over and over and over again. And in the case of our next match, the AWL United States Tag Titles, it allows people from other leagues to get shots, as in the case of the aforementioned Duchesne brothers, who are still cashing in their win from the AWL CCL World Cup of Wrestling, nice, getting a shot against the Riders of the Apocalypse, Future Cameron Fate and Flint Flamboyant. And ROA is a weird brand. They came from a league that was called Generic Championship Wrestling. GCW was a backyard league where instead of actually using, real weapons and things, they would pull out styrofoam and cardboard boxes.
Nice.
They really want to hurt their friends. So they've been trying to integrate this backyard wrestling style into the AWL. Sometimes it's successful, like it led them to the United States Tag Titles. This time around, the Duchesne brothers were having nothing of it. And they just completely they wrestled them, took them down, and the United States Tag Titles are now held by the CCL representatives of the Duchesne brothers.
Yes.
So I take it the Duchesne brothers aren't really into harp.
No.
Or LARPing? Is it LARPing? Live action? LARPing? Live action role playing? No, the Duchesne brothers didn't like the styrofoam.
They didn't like the styrofoam with the cardboard boxes, and they tore them down. So next up for the AWL was the second match before the main event was the AWL Intercontinental title, where our champion Prince Tier defended against the Willowick Thrasher Kenny Watsatuya. And Watsatuya has been an up and comer. He had a match at Survivor. I'm trying to remember where it was. Yes, he was involved in the All In Battle Royal at November to Remember, and he was involved in a 6-way match after that for the Intercontinental title shot. He won that match at our next show, which for some reason off the top of my head I don't have the name of. I don't know why. I will figure that out later. And then so he earned his Intercontinental title shot, and he just kept the ball rolling. And Prince Tier, a member of the Moneymakers, along with AWL Originals, Mr. Everything, Kurt Lockett, Connecticut Yankee, Wilrick wrestled the match of his life, and he was able to score the victory and became the new Intercontinental champion.
Very nice. Now he has to have some kind of a percentage of native blood, because if Watsatuya isn't a native name, I don't know what is.
I would agree with that. I'm sure there is definitely some Native American in him at the time, yes.
Oh, man.
And the main event of day one, and yes, folks, this is only day one of Starrcade, we had the prestigious CCL Heritage title.
Yep. General Chuck Mobley, the champion, and Killer Carl Kowalski. And this is another form of Dennis versus Mark. I mean, these guys, they just run the division sometimes, Heritage, Tag. I mean, and it never gets old, like I said. And in this match, I really felt sorry for the referee because it was more of a fight than a wrestling match. And these guys have just had the hatred that they share for each other. It's like sometimes you think they hate each other so much. It's that love-hate. They love to hate each other. And I just don't get it. But it's entertaining. I mean, it's just no matter what happens, you never know. There's never going to be a clear-cut winner. I mean, it could go either way, just like it did tonight. Mobley recently took the title from Killer Carl, and tonight, in the main event of Starrcade Day 1, Killer Carl gets one over on Mobley, and now he's the champion once again. I mean, they gave the fans what their money worth, that's for sure. So
nice. Now Killer Carl is like I said, he's a CCL legend, because that name, if you're familiar with the CCL, you know, Killer Carl is definitely synonymous with the league there. And you know, anytime promoters / managers like you mentioned, Mark and Dennis, you know, have a battle, it's like it takes me back to like you know, like Heyman and, you know, Crockett, you know, I imagine two big promoters like that bringing the best talent that they have and just, you know, putting on the greatest show you could see, you know.
Oh, absolutely. And I want to thank Will for highlighting that match for the main event of Day 1 in Starrcade. That gives CCL a lot of, you know, coverage, the rub, if you know what I mean. And thank you for that.
Oh, my pleasure. I definitely wanted the CCL to main event Day 1. I just wanted to make sure I got the title right, because I wasn't exactly sure which title was the most prestigious. And he told me, the Heritage title by far, and I said no problem.
Awesome.
And there's one thing I forgot to mention. We did have a pregame beforehand, and the main event for Day 1 of the pregame was the AWL American TV title in a 15-minute time limit match. The champion, Mr. Hardcore Thumbtack Jack, survived the time limit. Brother Love did score the pinfall, but unfortunately it was after the 15-minute time limit. So Mr. Hardcore retained the American TV title on the pregame show of Game 1.
Yeah, you know what, Will? I'm going to break the fourth wall a little bit. And, man, every time I listen to you guys and, you know, and commissioners in general, and I hear, you know, fantastic ways to add a little change of pace to, you know, to your league, that sounds awesome, man. That limit, putting the limit on a match, that's, you know, like I said, I know I'm breaking the fourth wall a little bit, but that's beautiful, man.
No, that's fine. I mean, I'm loving that. You know, with the last one we did, we're kind of doing back and forth. We're in kayfabe, but at the same time, we are talking this in the way of the way of the IWA. And the time limit thing, it basically, if the American TV title, for the most part, the people that get the shots at it are the Battle Royal winner and second place. It changes every now and again. Like in a couple of cycles, we're going to have the Royal Rumble, where the Battle Royal winner gets a much, much, much bigger prize than the American TV title. But for the most part, if you are the Battle Royal winner, you will get the shot at the American TV title with no limitations on pay-per-view. If you finish second, you get the shot at the American TV title. However, in order to beat the champion, you have to beat him by 4 or more points. That's how I represent the time limit. So if you beat the champion by 1, by 2, or by 3, congratulations, you beat the champion, but it was too late.
Like, you got the win, but yeah, not the
And if I remember, like maybe even the old NWA, that's sometimes how they used to do the NWA TV title. Was the title was on the line for like 10 minutes, and the match kept going after the 10 minutes. But after 10 minutes, the match was no longer for the title. So I guess it was a way to job the champion without having him actually lose the title.
Yeah. Especially times when you want the champion to lose the championship. As a kid, it was like, just 2 more. Oh,
I love it. So day one was action packed, guys. That was awesome. Now it's hard when you have such a great show in day 1, because, you know, you got to put on another show the next day. and that's always tough. But you guys pulled it off, man.
Yes, we did. And we're going to start off day 2. Now, I'll get this right. We'll do the pregame first. The pregame match was a last man standing match between Midnight Michael King and Tim the Anvil Neinhart. What can you say about a last man standing match? Two people just beating the heck out of each other. And Midnight just kept focusing on Neinhart's knees. And they were weakened to the point where he just could not stand up, which scored Midnight the victory with that. Let's see what's next. Oh, yes. The best of 7 series from the AWL between the future Cameron Fate and the architect Seth Collins. These two had a brutal battle earlier in 2018. Seth Collins used to be named the Undisputed Future, and these two had a series to see who the true future was, and future Cameron Fate won that series. So Seth Collins actually left the AWL. He didn't have to do that, but I guess he was so distraught that he left the AWL. He then has recently come back as the architect Seth Collins,
nice,
and he wants his future back. So they've agreed to do another best of 7 for the future title again. This was match 1 in a first blood no DQ match, and it was the architect Seth Collins, after bashing the future's face in, scored the victory with the blood and is up 1-0.
That probably happens more often than you like to believe, but anytime somebody kind of believes they have someone's number, they try and take them lightly. And it looks like Shane had a little Shane Collins had a little Seth Collins had a little surprise up his sleeve there.
Oh, I would agree there. He's out for revenge, and we'll see how long this goes. I mean, final match at WrestleMania, we'll have to see.
Woohoo!
Next up, the Rock and Roll Express get their title shot against Mobley's Army for the CCL Tag Team titles.
Well, Rock and Roll Express, you'd think they'd be tired after performing day 1, but not a chance. They took it to Mobley's Army, and maybe Mobley's Army took them a little lighter because they thought, they'd have it made easy street. And actually, the Duchesnes probably came out, which they did, and distracted Mobley's Army. And I guess distractions just helped the Rock and Roll Express, as they were able to defeat Mobley's Army with another double drop kick, just like how they would win the NWA World Tag Team titles. And Mobley's Army has been defeated, and the Rock and Roll Express are the new CCL World Tag Team Champions.
Now the Duchesne brothers, I know they they got their hands on the AWL United States tag titles, and is that something where those two are going to meet up eventually, the Rock and Roll and the Duchesne brothers?
I don't know.
You're like, could be coming next pay-per-view. Watch out. Oh man.
And Duchesne's wanted to show Mobley's Army, look what we got, and look what we're gonna cost you.
That's right. Oh, I love it.
After that was the STW with their United States title.
Now, I think you skipped one. I think we missed the
midnight. How can I forget that? I am sorry. Yeah, I forgot about what happened there. Yeah, again, King Achilles comes out again, ready for all of his challenges, and then all of a sudden the lights go out. And yeah, just like that. And,
I love it.
And the next thing you know, the lights come back on, and he's surrounded with all the weapons from a monster's ball. And lo and behold, who comes out but Midnight Michael King?
Oh, no.
And he just uses all the weapons he possibly can, finally puts the king down. The king is dead. The king is dead. And Midnight Michael King ends up with the AWL Hardcore title.
Man, dude, that's one title that if you do have, expect to get your ass kicked.
And they will find any way possible. They will hunt you down in the bathroom. They will hunt you down at Walmart. They will find you on the beach. They don't care where they find you. They want the title. They're going to get the title.
That's
and
where
Midnight Michael King got the title.
I love to see the title at Walmart being defended. Look out for the poppers. One of them women with the. No, I'm not going to go there.
Oh man, I love it.
Okay, so after the cleanup, now we head to the STW United States title.
Monster Mayhem, Donnie Bloodstone taking on Captain Misery. And a little background about Donnie Bloodstone. He's kind of like probably the enforcer of STW, if that makes sense. Kind of like I guess Tim Clark uses the picture of Kurgan, I think, as Donnie Bloodstone. So that kind of gives you a hint, like Kurgan from what was that faction back in the day? The Oddities and what was that? The Jackal. Remember that faction in the WWF?
Oh yeah, Truth Commission.
Truth Commission, yeah. So that's pretty much, I think, Donnie Bloodstone's character. And Captain Misery, that's your character, right, Will?
Oh yeah, he is just the legend of the AWL, former IWA World Heavyweight Champion from 20 years ago, going for one last run. Lately, though, he's been a little upset with opportunities. He was stating that, the AWL and Will Wisdom wasn't giving him the chances that he deserved. So that's why he turned STW looking for, opportunities. He is, Phenomenal Misery then took that and won the AWL United States titles. Tried to take them to the STW as well, but we blocked that. But now getting an opportunity at the United States title.
Nice.
Yeah. It was a good match. And that's why thanks for the history lesson about Captain Misery, because I didn't know. And Donnie Bloodstone, of course, it was, like I said, kind of a monster type wrestler. So unfortunately, Captain Misery fell a little short against Donnie Bloodstone. But it wasn't where anything cheated or no cheating or anything like that. Donnie Bloodstone was just the better man that night, unfortunately, for Captain Misery. But there will be more opportunities in STW for Captain Misery. So he made the right choice still by going STW.
Now, in terms of that STW fraction there, do you guys see them as more of a fair? Are they playing fair? Is I guess the question.
Well, the STW US title was, well, of course, the CCL US title. Donnie Bloodstone won the CCL US title from Rocky Lee, and now, of course, it's the STW US title. So they're not playing fair with championships when it building their own dynasty. I would say that. But competition-wise, it's fair because they're trying to build their own brand. So I don't think they want to cross each other, because then the whole empire would probably fall.
Nice. That's where I was going. I go, because if they're just cheating, it's going to be hard to recruit. It's going to be hard to recruit, get people to go.
Yeah. It's like Eric Bischoff wanted a WCW and an NWO. He wanted WCW to have Thunder and NWO to have Nitro, and it'd be like Raw and SmackDown are. That's kind of what they're trying to do, but they still do a lot of shady things. So we'll see what the future holds. I mean, after tonight, there might not even be a STW if they lose. If they lose in the main event, you never know. Bischoff's gone if he loses.
So next up on the list is the number one contenders match for the AWL United States tag titles. This is just three of probably the best teams the AWL has ever had to offer. It was the Natural Bobby Hamlin and Outlaw Drago Anderson, Ned Lowe and Jack Ragman from the IMP, and two AWL originals, the Moneymakers, Connecticut Yankee and Mr. Everything, Kirk Lochran. What can you say? It was tag team bliss. If you love tag team wrestling, these three teams just let it all hang out. And it will be the Natural and the Outlaw trying to regain their United States tag team titles next cycle.
Nice. And who are they going after? Who's the current
and actually the current champions are now the Duchesnes. So you want to talk about, again, tag team bliss. If you love that Midnight Express, Rock and Roll Express, Horseman type of tag team wrestling, that match is going to be for you.
Nice.
Lance Ray versus King Butcher.
Oh wow, yeah, I can't wait to actually write up this match. These two have been best of friends, worst of enemies since the old CPW days in the IWF. So the IWF closed in 2004, I believe. So there's probably at least 15 years of hatred between those two. And it's just crazy. Lance Rave, he's unpredictable. You don't know what type of mood he's going to be in that night. King Butcher, he used to be, he's kind of lost his edge lately. He used to be one of the guys that you just didn't want to mess with. He would turn on you in a minute. That's why he came up with the name King Butcher. He was the king of butchering friendships and allegiances. But he's kind of, as he gets older, more mellow and losing his edge. And Lance Rave, he's always been Lance. Well, before it was Lance effing Rave. But yeah, Lance Rave just was too much for King Butcher, and it was a war. I mean,
I guess the word I like to use, Terrence, is a slobber knocker of a match, because
slobber knocker. Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. King Butcher just couldn't pull it out, and Lance Rave just kicked his ass.
Nice. Well, way to get him, Lance effing Rave. Lance effing Rave.
The AWL CCL Unified Interfed title featured Mae Strong of the CCL versus the Queen of Extreme, Nia Jax. Now, Nia Jax wasn't even originally in the match to determine the number one contender. There was a 6 women's match at Survivor Series that just completely broke down. The women just got so into it that no decision could be rendered. So there was another match, a Survivor match called in honor of Brenda, for Brenda Lynch, and Nia was just so dominant in that match that I just decided to say, hey, you were that good, you're going to go in and go for the Interfed title. And Terrence can tell you all about Mae Strong.
Yeah, she's not real happy with Will Wisdom either. She was hoping because of the action in that first match that had no outcome. She was wanting the night off, and she told me to tell you, expect a Bronco Buster from her coming up soon.
Hey, when you're the women's Interfed champion, you will defend.
Oh yeah, she defended all right, but she didn't really take Nia Jax to. She didn't take the moniker Queen of Extreme too heavily. So Nia Jax pretty much confirmed why she's the Queen of Extreme, and she was there for no nonsense. And Mae Strong just couldn't keep up, and Nia was just so focused. She was there for a mission. She was no nonsense, and she's now the Interfed Women's Champion.
Awesome. Yeah, I like I said, I definitely, like I said, I've stated already on our Facebook that I am making my return to the AWL come January, and so I definitely am looking forward to mixing and matching it up again this year, guys. Because like I said, there's a lot going on throughout the IWA. But I can already tell where I'm gonna tailor my play, and like I said, I can't wait to go back and get in the mix because there's a lot we still haven't a lot to cover and a lot going on here.
Nice. Well, you're always welcome. The CCL Grand Championship, Oliver Canada and Black River Jack.
Oliver Canada, he's an STW guy. And recently, Howie Sandberg and the two King Butchers. There's a King Butcher in CCL and a King Butcher in AWL. Who's the real King Butcher? We're going to find out very soon. But, yeah, Oliver Canada, he's wearing an STW shirt, but has the CPW shirt over his shoulder because he was offered a spot. You know, Canadian Pride Wrestling, who better to get in there than Oliver Canada. So CPW guys, the two King Butchers and Howie Sandberg gave Oliver Canada pretty much the grand title. So Black River Jack, kind of like it in a way the AWL does. He won the Battle Royal, and whoever wins the Battle Royal gets the shot at the grand title. And Black River Jack won the Battle Royal, so that's how he got the match against Oliver Canada. One thing about Black River Jack, though, is he's also a member of Mobley's Army, so he just had that grueling match earlier with the Rock and Roll Express. So the wear and tear broke him down a little bit, and Oliver Canada took great advantage of that and was able to retain the Grand Championship.
All those Canadians.
Sneaky Canadians.
Oh, man.
All right,
but you know what, guys? It is tough to have two matches in one night. I mean, let's say it like it is. Anybody that's wrestling at this high level of professionalism, it's I mean, to put on two shows in one night is tough.
Oh, absolutely. That's why the AWL and the CCL and even the STW have the best athletes probably in the whole IWA. They're that tough, they're that talented, and they can put on a show 2 nights in a row. Case in point, you were just talking about that in the best of 5, match 1, the Philadelphia Street Fight. Again, 2 girls that just wrestled day 1 and actually wrestled against each other in day 1 in that weird double match contest. Sabre and Rowdy Ronda Rousey. Again, 2 women that just flat out don't like each other, wanted a best of 5 series to settle this whole thing. And amazingly enough, Sabre came out fighting. She was able to put down the Rowdy one and get the victory.
And go one up on their series.
Yeah,
that one's not over.
No, that's match 1. She's up 1-0, so they'll be doing it again next cycle.
Nice.
Okay. Oh yeah, the AWL World TV Tag Titles. I still do not know what happened to this guy. Mighty Schmitty, a former IWA World Heavyweight Champion, just won that thing a couple of months ago. As far as I know, he was just one big tough guy.
So.
Yeah, well, yeah. See, I could see he had the intensity, but I'll tell you, the Lightning Kings, Lightning Tiger and Dragon King, constant, multiple time tag champions, just like one of the better tag teams there is out there. Blood Diamond Nina Schmidt got into Schmitty's head. The bell rang, and I have never seen anyone beat up 2 guys like Mighty Schmidt did. No weapons either. He was just destroying them with his fists. I mean, the referee was trying to calm the guy down, and he just destroyed him. Lightning Tiger and Dragon King were on the mat. They were just beaten up. The referee had no choice, declared the Kings unable to continue, and Nina and Mighty Schmitty are now the AWL World TV Tag Titles.
No.
I mean, Lightning Kings obviously we're taken to the hospital from this. I know they're going to be back. They're just that good. But wow, I mean, Mighty Schmitty has just given himself a new a new persona, and it is just absolutely scary. I hate to be the people that they choose. That's the odd part. Those are the titles that they choose who faces them, so they get to choose their victims.
Oh man!
And and unfortunately, from day one, let me remind everyone who that's going to be. Day one, it was the dudes with attitudes. So God bless them is all I have to say. I mean, if Nina can do that to Mighty Schmitty, I don't know wow. What else can Nina do?
You know what's even scarier about Nina? She has pet tigers.
Oh boy.
I wonder if she feeds them the same time as she feeds Mighty Schmitty. Maybe that's what it is.
Oh, maybe that makes sense.
Now, does she come to? Are the tigers allowed ringside or at least muzzled up or something?
I get the feeling now that you mentioned that next cycle she might actually bring them.
Oh man,
maybe it'll entice Schmitty to be even worse. Oh boy.
Wow.
Leading up to the main event, we had the AWL American TV title, no time limit this time. It was Mr. Hardcore Thumbtack Jack going against, again, the woman that's done it all. Women's titles, men's titles, you name it. Noxious Nikki Knockout. I was under the impression that Nikki was going to give Jack a wrestling lesson of his life and reclaim the American TV title that she's had before. But his name may be Mr. Hardcore. But let me just say this. Thumbtack Jack can wrestle. Thumbtack Jack has a lot of ability that he hides inside of him. He's held this American TV title for a couple cycles now, and that's really hard to do when you're defending it twice a cycle. And he's still the champ, and he's going to take it into 2019, and we'll see how long he can hang on.
You go, Thumbtack Jack, man. You
Absolutely.
go.
Thumbtack Jack. One of my favorites.
I love it.
And now we get to the main event.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. And Terrence is going to have to help me with this because I'm still even confused as to what the heck happened with this match.
Yeah, we'll help each other.
Yeah. So for those of you that this may be the first time you're listening to us, we are creating an IWA Steel Interfed World Heavyweight title. It will be a title that will be defended amongst the Steel Association, which right now consists of 7 different leagues. And this is the inaugural match. This is the match to determine a lot of things. Not only just a new champion, but there was a lot on the line. We had the AWL interim champion, IC Cat, the CCL champion, Fist of Steel Kabuki Dragon, versus the reason why the AWL has an interim champion, the quote-unquote STW champion, Chaos Knight, who's holding the AWL Unified Great American World title that they originally stole when Terrence Bischoff won the title himself. Stipulations simply go as this: as if the AWL wins, that title belt comes back to us, and Mr. Terrence Bischoff said that he would leave the IWA. If Chaos Knight were to win, then the title becomes theirs. They can do whatever they want with it, and the AWL will have a show on the AWL report representing the STW. CCL was the wild card. If Kabuki Dragon won, then it was actually Dragon's choice as far as what he wanted to do. If he wanted to do the right thing and give it back to the AWL, that would be great. It would be his choice if he wanted to keep it as the championship, give it or whatever. So he was kind of the wild card in all of this.
And I will say Kabuki was very torn about it.
It's definitely, yeah, he was. I even spoke with his manager just to try to get a little dig in, a little influence in, and he wasn't exactly sure, which had to make this match even a little bit more of intrigue. The ending, what can I say? It was, all 3 guys were laid out along the referee. ICA Cat was starting to get up. Next thing you know, Captain Misery runs out of the crowd, grabs a steel chair, and just absolutely smashes it into ICA Cat's head, knocking him clean out. Then he goes over to look at the AWL title. I guess the only thing I can say was he must have been like distraught over losing the U.S. title and was yearning for the day when he held that belt. That's the only thing I can think of. AWL wrestlers who were concerned that he would take the title back came down to try and stop him. Next thing I know, Fist of Steel Kabuki Dragon starts getting up, approaching the Fallen Cat, and some other guy comes in. Terrence, did you see who that guy was that beat up on Kabuki Dragon?
There's so many people down there, it's hard to keep track.
Oh, yeah. Did you say it was Drake the Snake Roberts?
Yeah, that's why, that sneaky bastard.
Yeah.
He slithered his way right in there.
Yeah, so
Drake the Snake Roberts, huh? That SOB.
Yeah, so he comes in.
He's got it in for Kabuki. He's got it in for Kabuki.
Okay. Now it makes a little bit more sense. Okay, so he didn't want Kabuki to win either. Okay. So he he pulls out Dragon, he hits the floor with a thud. So then Chaos Knight gets up. Next thing I know, coming out of the crowd again are partners of ICA Cat, Brother Love and Brother Be Hatin', and they pull out Chaos Knight and knock him down. So now we got all this confusion going on. ICA Cat is still bleeding from the back of the head, laying down. The next thing you know, here comes Kabuki Dragon dragging himself back in the ring. Here comes Chaos Knight dragging himself back in the ring. It's a crawling race to get on top of ICA Cat. Everyone sees Fist of Steel Kabuki Dragon go on top. The ref revives. 1, 2, 3. And he raises Chaos Knight's hand.
Uh-oh.
Now, we have no idea what was going on. And I tell you, the film has been viewed. I'm sure the fans were videotaping it and posting it all over social media, slow motion replay. He is claiming that Chaos Knight got his hand in underneath Fist of Steel Kabuki Dragon, and he was the one that was officially awarded the pin. Now, I have the film right here that the three of us can actually just look at this. I mean, I'm seeing Kabuki Dragon come in. Yeah, I see an arm of Chaos Knight going on top. You tell me, Terrence, what did he get? Did he get a finger on him?
Hey, you know what? I mean,
who's the ref here? Can we get him in here real quick? What?
I wish we could. I mean, he left town as far as I know is concerned. I don't know. I mean, hopefully it wasn't Earl Hebner or anybody, but evidently that one little finger that got underneath Fist of Steel Kabuki Dragon has awarded Chaos Knight of STW the IWA Steel Interfed World Heavyweight title.
Now my question is, who signed that ref's check? Eric Bischoff or did one of you guys? Because if Bischoff signed that check, then we can definitely know shenanigans.
I don't know signing any check.
I've never seen the refs. I'm assuming he was an AWL.
Oh man.
So there is a lot of confusion, but as always, the referee's decision stands. The STW champion Chaos Knight is now the official IWA Steel Interfed World Heavyweight title. Mr. Bischoff, your career is safe.
Yay!
And the AWL, I have no idea if Cap Misery. Did you get the title back from Misery? I believe he did take it out of the arena.
Yeah, I got it. I got it back from him.
Okay. All right. Well, here's what's going to happen with everything going on here, because a lot of things actually came into place, and Terrence and I have been talking about this. Because of all the controversy with this, we're going to take advantage of the fact that the KKL has unfortunately folded. Chaos Knight is going to go off next cycle. He's defending the title in the IIL. In the winter cycle, it was supposed to be the KKL's turn to get the champion. Due to this controversy, the association feels that it's fine to have the champion come back to the CCL. And honestly, it's Terrence's choice what he wants to do. I am assuming he will automatically give Kabuki Dragon a rematch, but that's completely and totally up to him what he wants to do. If he wants to screw over Kabuki Dragon, that's fine by me. But it's his league. But I would assume that Kabuki Dragon in 2 cycles is going to get an automatic rematch for this title.
That's correct.
Okay. All right.
No screw jobs. We don't want any more Montreal situations for a while, or I don't want screw Kabuki or nothing like that.
And again, just to break a little kayfabe here for other managers, this is what happens when there is a tie for the championship. And in case anybody questions what we used for the tiebreaker, it was actually match time. Chaos Knight's time was sooner than Fist of Steel's Kabuki Dragon, so therefore we awarded Chaos the championship due to getting the pin in faster. But we got a little creative with the controversy of all this.
I love it. Now, gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and ask for last remarks or last questions as we're getting to that hour mark here on the show. So I'll go ahead and. Oh no, we're good. I think this thing was awesome, man. I think the listeners are going to get a kick out of how well you guys portray this pay-per-view on air, man, because it's beautiful. I mean, so I'll go ahead and shoot it to you, Terrence, for any last words, and then Will, you can piggyback, and then we'll sign off after.
All right, the last words. Captain Misery and Terrence Bischoff were talking in the back, and Misery gave the title to Terrence Bischoff. And he wants the title to be given back to AWL, as Captain Misery wants to go and face ICA Cat legitimately. So I don't know. The title's back to you guys. We're giving it back to you. We're not going to keep it. Chaos Knight has a brand new STW World title and the Interfed title, and you guys have your belt back.
Well, I thank you. I appreciate that. And despite how this all went around, it has been an honor to work with you on this, to get this idea that you and I had to get this ball rolling with this new Interfed title. And I will grant his request. And you're saying he did this voluntarily?
Yeah, he has unfinished business with AWL.
I understand that he keeps talking about opportunity. I will grant his request. I will put him in a match with ICA Cat. There's still a lot of bad blood with him leaving, because he was one of the cornerstones of the AWL. I was considering making it a win or nothing situation for him, but with him voluntarily doing this, I may just lay off on that and let him do his thing in the title. And as far as my final request is for everybody listening out there, come join us. A lot of the steel-fed leagues I've been checking could use a lot of great managers. And this is hopefully a springboard to get the steel-fed leagues up to where they should be. I was upset that one of our associations had to close, and there are a lot of good steel-fed leagues out there. I know a lot of you are stretched thin, and you're so involved with other things. But give us a look. Take a look at the leagues. I will be posting on the AWL webpage the list of the leagues that are involved. And if you want a shot at this groundbreaking new concept of the traveling steel world heavyweight title, join a league.
Nice.
Join one of our association leagues, get involved, become one of their better wrestlers, and maybe you could become the IWA Steel Interfed World Heavyweight Champion.
2019 could be huge.
I love it. Now, guys, as you're mentioning the steel, I will plug the SLL and the LPL, who are trying to make moves happen, and I think both of those managers have reached out and are looking as soon as they get a little more grounding, to be a full part of the Steel Interfed Championship. So, if you are listening to this, again, the Steel is definitely filled with a lot of cast and characters that aren't in too many other leagues. So definitely check out the AWL, the CCL. Again, new leagues that are up and coming there in the Steel is the LSL and the LPL. If you're looking for somewhere where maybe you just like to play the game and aren't really too keen on trash talk, the MUL is also it has a commissioner and will be competing for that Steel Interfed title. So come on by. The Steel has a lot going on.
Yes, it does.
Gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and sign us off right there. Again, I'd love to have you guys on again and again. Like I said, I definitely think the Steel needs this. I think you guys do a fantastic job of presenting the stuff that you guys got going on. And like I said, I definitely enjoy the change of pace. And again, whenever you guys want, these airways are always open to you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. We'll be back.
Yes, we will, Flip. We'll definitely be back.
Awesome. Again, guys, you've been listening to the Men of Steel, Terrence Agard, Will Wisdom, and myself, IWA Flip. You guys have a good day. Take it easy, guys.
Too.